39. What have you got for us?
All right, so 50% of the festival playlist will get yourselves a Horizon Backstage Pass. 80% you're going to get yourself a Porsche 356 RSR. Then for summer, 50% get yourself the 2018 Honda Civic, and at 80% you can get yourself a KTM Crossbow GT4. For those who can't wait until November, you can get a little bit of Mexico in Forza Horizon 4. So if you go to your message center inbox in game, you should have this super cool Mexican mural inspired livery by Little Vixen for the 2014 Golf R. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think.
Once a car is selected, we start two work streams, and that's the licensing portion and the sourcing portion. So make sure we can build it, make sure we can ship it. and so we reach out to the, Ford and let them know what our intentions are. Manufacturers Ford has been a great partner, right? And they've been very helpful. AMG, same situation, right? Just very helpful, very exciting. Our desire is to make these vehicles as accurate as possible. And when a car is in production and they're finalizing that final look, the first thing the player sees is that vehicle sitting there. So that's the most important thing. Can we make that 5-minute experience authentic and believable and just enriching for the player?
We try to make a special version of the car shows at least once a month. In the past, we've done autism awareness, child abuse prevention, teen dating violence prevention, Black History Month Pride. We try to have something special going on at least once a month, because I figure I have a platform to where I can reach people. Why not use it to get the word out there of some of these things that need more attention?
This one's awesome. This one's a bounty hunter event. HPD Forza Bounty Hunter is the title of it. And that's because we're partnering with Honda Performance Development, a incredible team from within Honda who basically build up all these race cars, make all the cars faster and develop all this stuff out in North America. Very, very cool. Over the series of 3 different Rivals events through September, there'll be different pro drivers out on track in Rivals who you can compete against from home.
Hello, Forza fans, and welcome to the fabulous September edition of Forza Monthly. I like how I always have to check the date because for some reason I never remember what month it is when I start this. We've got a great show for you today, and we're following it all up with another episode of Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go, which is not a bad way to kick off a Monday, if I do say so myself. So let's pull up the schedule and see what we're going to be talking about today. So first up, Playground Games are going to be walking us through the Forza Horizon 4 Series 40 update. And then they'll be sticking around to give us a preview of Forza Horizon 5's updated garage and livery editor. Then, have you ever played Forza on a guitar? Forza streamer Rudeism has, and he's here to tell us all about that and more bizarre controller creations in our community spotlight. And after that, we'll be catching up with the inimitable Ali Tack on community events. And to top it all off, Forza Motorsport creative director Chris Asaki is back to let us know how Forza Motorsport multiplayer is shaping up. That is quite the stacked lineup. So without further ado, let's welcome Tom Butcher to the show. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Leah. How are you doing?
I am well today. I hope you are also well, because you're going to go walk us through the Series 40 update. So, and there's a lot.
There is a lot.
Right, yeah, let's get started then. What have we got coming up in Series 40?
All right. Okay, so 50% of the series playlist, you can get yourself a Horizon Backstage Pass. And at 80%, you can get yourself a Saline S1 2018. 50% of summer, Mazda Cosmo. We took a look at that early in the year when we added it to the game. And we've also got at 80% the Maserati Mc12. Sorry, can you jump back one? So the trial for summer is history class. You can get yourself the Peugeot 207S. And then finally, in summer season events, we've got the FF Spotlight, which you can get yourself the DS3 Racing 2011. We've got the Full Throttle season event, which can get yourself a modern race suit in grey. And the Forza Italia season event can get yourself the Ferrari 360 CS. Then 50% autumn, get yourself another Horizon Backstage Pass. At 80%, you can get yourself the Pontiac GTO. The trial for autumn, get yourself the, if you complete heavy haul, you can get yourself the Mercedes S-Class. Then the FR Spotlight, you can get yourself a BMW M3 GTR. For the Sky's the Limit seasonal event, you can get yourself a Nissan GTR. And the McLaren Cup, you can get yourself a McLaren 12C, and those are all hard to find cars. Then in winter, 50%, you can get yourself the Rover SD1, and at 80%, get yourself the Koenigsegg CCX. The trial in winter, completing natural habitat, get yourself the Chevrolet ZR2. And then the rest of winter, we've got the AWD Spotlight, get yourself Mercedes GT4 2018. The Ford Cup, you can get yourself the Ford Mustang S5. And the Snowball Fighter, get yourself the Ford Fiesta GRC. That's an epic car. Finally, in spring, 50% get yourself the Backstage Pass, and at 80%, you can get yourself the TVR Tuscan. Completing the Mud Bath Trial, get yourself the Jeep Wrangler. And then finally, in spring, if you complete yourself the seasonal event Culture Icons, you can get yourself that much sought after sequin flat cap. Completing Sacre Bleu, can get yourself the Renault 5 Turbo Forza Edition. And then finally, the MR Spotlight, can get yourself the Ferrari Dino. And that is Series 40.
That is Series 40 indeed. Are there any bug fixes coming in this update?
Yeah, we've got a couple of bug fixes. So in the last content update, you remember we had some stats issues. So we've got another one of those for Horizon Stories. If you're encountering that issue, you can submit a ticket on the support.forzamotorsport.net website. That's if your chapters aren't updating on your stats page. And we've also removed any links for Forza Hub. So if you remember in the last Forza month, just a reminder that we'll be sunsetting Forza Hub. So we've taken those out of the game as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the update, Tom. Pleasure to see you again.
Thanks, Leah.
And Series 40 for Forza Horizon 4 is available now. So download it to try your hand at the seasonal championships and win those rewards. Up next, we'll take a look at the new Forza Horizon 5 Livery Editor. But first, let's get in the painting mood with some of our favorite community photos of the Mexican mural art inspired livery Golf R Forza gifted to all Forza Horizon 4 players last month. Check it out. And here to talk to us about that Forza Horizon 5 livery editor is Mike Brown. Welcome back.
Hey, Leah, great to be here.
It's great to see you. So that is a stunning livery, I think we can all agree, and it really sets the stage for what we're going to be talking about next, which is, as mentioned, the Forza Horizon 5 livery editor. So you're going to walk us through what we've got to look at here today, and we'll have maybe a little look-see, a little sneak peek, a little preview.
Yes, so I should caveat before we start that livery looked absolutely beautiful. I'm not much of a painter, and I'm not going to be generating anything quite as beautiful as that during the show, but we will get a look at some of the cool new features and functionality in the livery editor. So shall we take a look?
Yes, let's get straight into it. And you are selling yourself short, I'm sure. I'm excited to see what we're going to come up with.
So before we jump into the paint shop, I was just checking out some of the new upgrade parts on this Jeep Gladiator, rendered here in unparalleled detail thanks to ray tracing on the Xbox Series X. Check out those reflections. Woof!
They are gorgeous.
And some sweet new upgrade parts there. Exclusive reveal here on the Forza Monthly. Anyway, enough of the Jeep. Let's get out of that. We're not here to look at that. Let's take a look at a different car. So I'm going to jump into my Porsche 911 Gt2 Rs.
All right. Any reason in particular for painting up this one?
The real reason is, one, because it's one of my favorite cars in the game. Secondly, because I just wanted to show people this sweet new body kit that is available on this car. You can get yourself a Duke Dynamics kit, which makes it look a little bit more aggressive. It's super cool. I just thought I'd reveal that to the world.
Appreciate it.
We'll pop back in here in a little while, but let's go jump into the paint shop, as that's what we are here for.
Right. Yep. You got your you going with this base color here, this nice fluorescent yellow.
So yes, this is actually one of Porsche's stock colors. I think they call this one race yellow or racing yellow. I went with this one because I'm using the new Forza Horizon 5 limited edition controller, and I thought I'd use that as the base inspiration for what we're going to create here today. First of all, regular Forza painters may notice that things have been rearranged slightly in the UI. This is the first time we've really revisited the layout in a number of years, and we kind of wanted to bring it in line with kind of the user experience that people might expect in a modern day painting package such as Adobe Photoshop. First of all, you've got this. If you're used to having the layers along the bottom of the screen from left to right, we've moved that over to the side of the screen in a vertical stack, so that as you're applying those layers, the order of them makes more sense. So let's see what I mean by that. I'm just going to grab one of these now. As I said, I'm going to try and do something based on the Forza Horizon 5 controller. I've probably already massively oversold my artistic abilities there, but let's start off with...
If anything, you've undersold it. I don't know.
Right.
The controller's real bright as well, isn't it? You got the yellow base, and then it's all paint splatters and gorgeous.
That's
colors,
right, yeah.
So.
And because it's transparent plastic, the way the light moves through the controls just makes it glow in the dark. I'm going to... so I select that, and then I'm going to move that over here. Already you can see that the UI has been redone and reimagined. We have got fresh icons for everything. I said that I'm going to want to copy that one over. So I'm going to click copy and then paste. And I'm going to select that duplicated layer. I'm going to change the color of it. And I'm going to go with this one with a blue to try and match what's on the pad. I'm going to move that one so it's not being completely splashed over by the pink there. And I'm going to do that again to add a purple. So copy, paste, and then make it purple. All of this is functionality that people may be familiar with, but it's presented in a way that's it's fresh, and I think it's much more accessible as well.
Yeah,
now I
was about to say, you can do it quite quickly, can't you? You're managing to go in between all these tools really fast, which is...
I'm going in between really fast. It still doesn't look very good, and I should caveat, this is about as good as it's going to get today. But
it's amazing. Pay for this.
But once I've selected them, I've grouped those layers together. I can now click this button, and I can then copy those over to the other side of my car. And then we jump over, and you can see there's a couple of stickers I've added there earlier. So once you get into that rhythm, it does make creating liveries that much easier, that much faster. One of the other cool new improvements we've made as well is to massively increase the resolution of your liveries. So if you're playing on the Xbox Series S or X, then they're much, much higher resolution when they're on the car, when you're driving around in free roam or you're in races. Regular painters will probably have experienced that thing where you build it, you're inside the editor, you build a really crisp, beautiful paint job, you get it out into free roam, and then the realities of having to stream that around the world, it can get a little bit pixelated. So remember this, we'll take a look at that in a sec. But before we go out and take a little drive, I did want to show another cool feature. So I'm going to save that to my car. This, of course, is the Porsche 911 Gt2 RS. It's basically a race car that you can purchase and drive around on the roads. But in Forza Horizon 5, you're not limited to sticking to the frankly awesome asphalt roads that we have in the map. You can convert the car and make it into a bit of an off-road beast as well. So let's jump back into the upgrades menu. Obviously, I've already stuck this kit on it. That did give me a little bit more downforce. You can now take any of the kind of road-built cars and you can give them a couple of upgrades and then make them suitable for taking it off-road, maybe you can head across the desert or take it onto a dirt route or maybe even across country. So if I click on the suspension, down at the bottom of the screen, down the bottom left, you can see that all of our cars now have an off-road score. That is the bottom one of those stats. On this car at the moment, it has an off-road score of 4.3. That's out of 10, so that's not a great score. But I can quickly slap on some rally springs. You see straight away the car lifts up straight away, gives it that little bit more clearance. It's going to eat up all those bumps and lumps in the road a little bit more. There is another one as well. I could go for drift springs, which does the opposite effect. It lowers it and it changes the stance of the wheels. But right now we're going to go for rally springs. Also going to have a look at the tires. So we've added a ton of new tire compounds. There is the ones that people will be familiar with, the semi-slick, the slick. There's a drift tire compound, so you could combine that with those drift springs we just looked at if you want to turn any car in the game into a bit of a drift beast. Right now, we are going to go with off-road race tire compound. And you can see as soon as I've selected that one, it's bumped my off-road score up to a pretty respectable 7.9. I can give it a quick engine rev. I'm just going to add those parts to my car. And we'll take it for a quick drive and I'll show you the difference they've made. Yeah, so this is a car that it was first added in Forza Motorsport 6. It's been in Horizon 4 and Forza Motorsport 7 since then. So it's a car that people probably are familiar with the performance of if they've driven it in any of those games. And they'll know that it's a fantastic track car. Not really at home off-road though, but with just a couple of upgrades, really quick.
Now.
Exactly, just a couple of upgrades and we've made it off-road ready. And those upgrades are available for more or less every single car in the game as well. So if you're a big fan of any street car, you're a 350Z. You want to make a 350Z and you want to think, right, I'd normally take this and I'd send it for a drift. I'd take it out on the track, or maybe I want to take that out to go for a dirt race or a cross country as well. You can slap a few upgrades on it and you make it into an off-road beast. So you can see as I'm heading across country here, it's holding traction. It's still got full control. No problems whatsoever. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's a whistle-stop tour of the Livery Editor and a few new upgrades as well. And I've stacked it into a rock. There we go.
Did we get a look at the livery up close in the world?
Oh, yeah. Good shout. I forgot about that. Yes. So if I head off into a debug camera, we can get in nice and close and you can just see how well all those crisp lines hold up on both the stickers I've added there, the Horizon Festival and Radio at Turner, sneak peek at a new radio station. And you can see all those decals there, just no pixelation at all, just really holds up, perfect quality. Yeah.
Just like being in front of a real car with your own eyeballs. Well, I am always impressed by what the livery designers create in the game. We've had quite a lot of livery designers here on the Community Spotlight, and the talent is always mind-blowing. So I'm excited to see how they utilize these new tools and keep raising the bar. Very, very cool. And that is just a sliver of what the team will be showing us today. What is in store in the Let's Go stream after this?
Yeah, so first of all, I'll echo that point that we cannot wait to see what people create with these tools. And yes, we have the Let's Go stream coming up in just a short while. We're going to be taking a look at some of the multiplayer features of Forza Horizon 5. So yeah, stick with us. It's going to be a really fun show. We've got absolutely loads to get through.
And that is directly after this show right here on this channel, twitch.tv/Forza. So stick around. You don't want to miss it. Thank you very much for speaking with you again, Mike Brown. It's been a pleasure, as always.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And now, what do bananas, Forza, and Morse code have in common? Well, more than you might think if you are our next guest, Rudeism. Rudeism is a streamer with a passion for building bizarre controllers for tackling his favorite games from new, challenging, and occasionally painful, apparently, angles. Recently, he made the rounds on Twitter with an unconventional Eliminator victory. Take a look.
So hard right now. Oh, there's a road coming up. The other guy rolled. Oh my God, we have a real shot. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, get to the road. Yes. Oh, there's a sharp turn at the end. Oh my God, it's not the road. It's over here. Go for the turn. This is gonna be it. Yes. Woo.
Congratulations! You are the Eliminator!
Oh, that's what it's all about right there. We did it. That was it. Pretty happy with that. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad, don't you reckon?
I love the pure joy and disbelief as you hit the final checkbox. Just like, it actually happened. Welcome to the show,
nice and
Rudeism.
satisfying. Hi, how you going? It's good to see you.
It is good to see you as well. At first, I want to thank you for joining us all the way from New Zealand, which is quite the time difference. Dare I ask what time it is right now?
About 4:22 in the morning. So as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go right back to bed. But that's okay. You guys reached
Absolutely.
out, and so I will always make time.
Oh, well, thank you very much for coming on. So tell us about the clip we just saw. What exactly is happening there?
Yeah. So basically, I'm playing Forza Horizon 4 using my guitar. So this is it right here. I was hoping to get it all plugged in, but it's not quite working right now. But that's okay. I can fix it. It all lights up and stuff. I
If there's
basically
anyone
ripped
who
out
can
all
fix it, it's you.
Yeah, hopefully. I ripped out all the internals essentially and rewired it, so it's all a bit custom now, which is nice.
Right.
But yeah, playing it using the Guitar Hero guitar, which is good fun.
Right, yeah, they're not your standard controller. What did you have to do to customize that to let you play Forza on it?
I should probably come clean. I didn't have to rip all the internals out and like replace them. I probably could have just remapped it, but I like fancy lights. But essentially, I just remapped the commands so I steer using the strum bar, and then
Right.
acceleration and braking is done with the whammy, and then all the changing gears and everything like that's all done up here. So
Wow.
that's the short version.
I love the idea of the
lot
whammy.
better than you might imagine. Yeah, it's takes some adjustment, but it's not too bad.
Very creative. I imagine it takes a long time for your brain to get used to all of the different maneuvers as well. Oh, look
It
at that.
does.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There's the fancy lights. Thanks for that, production people. That's very nice of you. Yeah,
Very
it takes
good
some time to
picture.
adjust, but you figure it out after a while with enough practice and persistence, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, I think practice and persistence might be the two words that can describe you very well with everything you're doing. Because getting a victory in Eliminator is already quite a challenge. And is that extra challenge there of trying to do it with a guitar controller something you take pleasure in?
I love it. It's fun to try and make it way harder than it ever needs to be. Like I like playing games the normal way too, but I think over the last sort of 6 years, I've kind of conditioned myself to always be thinking about what is the most annoying and painful way to do a thing and try to do it that way instead.
Just for fun, you know.
It's
I don't
fun
think
that
games
way.
are challenging enough. You want to add your
Yeah.
own layer, and I respect that. So you are a long-time Forza fan, in fact. Have you partaken in any other sort of Forza challenges with your unusual controllers?
Yeah, so I sort of streamed a hell of a lot of Horizon 3 back in the day as well. I've harped on stream probably to the point of annoying everybody how Forza is one of my favorite games. But I played Horizon 3 way back in the day. This is about probably 4+ years ago now. I took my car, my real car, and I put it in my driveway, and I tried to set it up as an actual controller to play the game as well. So I took my PC, put it in the passenger seat, and then took my monitors, put it on the hood of the car, and then like hooked up my steering wheel to steer, you know, the gear stick, the pedals, everything. in my real actual car and tried to do it in a way that I could drive it again, which I managed to pull off, kind of, sort of.
Right. So you just jerry-rigged your entire real-life car to play Forza inside the car, because obviously real life isn't immersive enough, and you want to have the controllers
I
on
didn't
the
own a
front.
steering wheel. That was kind of the problem. So, there's solutions.
Yeah.
Buying a steering
why
wheel
would
is
you
a solution, but it's the one I didn't choose, and that's fine.
no point buying another steering wheel when you got a perfectly good one right there?
Yeah, exactly, right?
And did your car recover after all this? It looks like there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's really funny, actually. So I was doing it in the front driveway of my house at the time, because we just moved actually a week ago. So this is an old place. And while I was doing this, my next door neighbor walked by, and he's like a 7-year-old dude. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't know anything about games or anything. He's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" Like coming in during the stream and stuff and asking what's going on. I was giving him the explanation, and it's funny because I actually managed to sell that car to that guy like months later, even though like I had to put a bed sheet over the front of the car because it was a really sunny day and the glare from the sun was just making it hard to see. So I put bed sheets on, and the only thing I had to stick it to the car was duct tape. So by the time I sold the car to the guy, there was still like duct tape residue just all around the car from where I'd taped this bed sheet on.
And he was like, "That's fine."
Him, so
Added
he was
value.
a nice guy.
Yeah. No. I'll bet.
So,
he doesn't know the history.
worked
He
out.
doesn't know what that car's been through.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know, what is one of the most challenging controller playthroughs you've done in general?
There's been a few. Yeah, like I've built quite a few things over the last sort of 6 years or so. Built myself a motion control goose suit to play the Untitled Goose game. That was a lot of fun. Probably
I
the
have so
hardest
many
one I've
questions.
done. Hardest one I've done is actually one I'm in the middle of now. Is I'm playing Dark Souls 3 right now using this. It's a button. It's just one button. It's basically programmed to play the game using Morse code. So different Morse code sequences equate to different commands. So moving
Right.
forward, moving backwards, attacking.
And you've
all
got to
that
remember
stuff.
all those codes as well. Which sounds harder than
that's
any
where
of
that
it.
practice comes in handy. It's been a lot of hours, but we're getting there. We're making progress. I think we're
All right.
over halfway now at this stage.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm
So-
impressed. I also heard you've used a DDR pad to make play games as well.
Yes, I have played a few games using DDR pads in the past. I've done Forza as well. This one here is Jump King, which I'm kind of partway through right now. I had to stop because the place I was at when we were doing it, my jumping was kind of shaking the entire house, and my flatmates weren't appreciating that too much. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll put a pause on it. Now we're in our new place, I can start doing that again. But it's essentially a jump sensor where it's kind of like a DDR pad, but it's like in order to jump, you've got to put both feet down and then take both feet off. So it requires you to physically jump in order to play the game.
Because just
yeah.
doing it on a jump pad wasn't enough, and you wanted to make it extra challenging for your body to go through that as well. And they say
Yeah, I
gamers
kinda-
don't get exercise.
I kind of appreciated the break because my legs were screaming after doing that for about 6 hours straight.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. Your knees, your poor knees. Have you ever tried playing Forza on a DDR pad then?
I have. Yeah, a little while ago now I tried doing it. There you go. Oh,
Hey,
look at that.
that.
Production team's on point today. Good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this clip here is on the Goliath, and if you have a look at that lap counter, you'll see how much kind of pain I put myself through. It's fun. It was fun though. Yeah, I basically just tried to see if I could do it on a whim. So, up is to go forward, left, right is to turn. It's manual transmission here, so A and B is the gears. I kind of did it on a whim on some tiny courses just to see if I could do it, and then that evolved into a 7-hour-long Goliath marathon on a souped-up PLP 50, which is probably, I think it's got to be the hardest car to drive in the game, I think, which
Absolutely.
is kind of the point. So, yeah, it ended up working out all right, I think. It was pretty fun.
You were overtaking people and everything.
I mean, they
am
were PC,
astounded.
they were AI, to be fair, but still, I wouldn't mind trying to do it against some real players, maybe when 5 comes out.
Yeah, it could be a fun challenge. All right, well, so you've created controllers out of basically everything and anything. What kind of criteria do you consider when you're making a new controller idea?
Typically, like I just tend to do whatever I feel is interesting at the time. That can change in a million different ways, but I've tended to find that the ideas that take the least amount of thought to figure out and are the most complicated to use are the best ones. So typically, like the less ergonomic. Oh yeah, that's a baguette. I think I played Warzone with that one.
That's a baguette.
The less ergonomic and the just generally harder they are to use, and the more points of failure there are, the more opportunities for things to break, I tend to find are the most fun ones.
I can see that. Yeah, you just adding in a few extra points of chaos, just because why not?
Yeah, you go on with a plan, and then it inevitably fails, and then you just learn to adapt, and you figure it out anyway, and then it all kind of works out.
Absolutely. Is that a?
Oh yeah, that's a frying pan. So I used that to play. What did I play with that? Oh, Dark Souls 1. I finished that one, which was good. And yeah, there's another game called Mordhau, which it's like Battlefield but medieval, and you can get a frying pan in that. And I was swinging that at people. That was fun.
That sounds very fun. It's like you saw the Wii and you were like, no, I can do better. I've got better ideas.
More like I saw the Wii and and knew that I could do much worse, but that's good comedy, so it's okay.
Arguable perspective. What's
man.
this? What is this?
This is Ocarina of Time. So that's a real ocarina, that I'm using to play it. And that whole thing on the bottom left is like the sort of notes that I'm playing at a given moment. So depending on which note I'm playing, will do a different input.
It's really cool that you've integrated it into the stream as well, visually. It's not just you playing it and then playing with the controller. It's a full experience.
I do my best. I'd like to try and make it make sense for people who are watching. Actually, if you notice, I'm actually playing in a car there, and the reason for that is because my partner won't let me use that particular controller in the house because it is really annoying. Why. Really annoying.
Well, speaking of cars, have you got anything in the works for when Forza Horizon 5 comes out?
I've got some ideas. I mean, I am kind of angling for one of those Forza 5 controllers. They're really pretty. I don't normally allow standard controllers in my house, but I'll make an exception for that one.
They are very pretty.
But no, I mean, I'm going to bring out the guitar again. DDR on Eliminator would be pretty fun, I think. Eliminator's a good place to test these kind of things, I think, because it's I like coming up against other people and seeing if I can win despite the difficulty. So if you ever see me in an Eliminator, I'm sorry in advance.
You think it'll be easier on the DDR pad for Eliminator? No.
No.
That surprises me and concerns me.
It'll be a nightmare, but it'll be fun. Oh, that's the main thing, right?
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Why else would you do it? Where can the viewers find you if they want to catch your incredible content?
At Rudeism on literally everything. So Twitch is my main thing, stream there 3+ days a week. I'm on YouTube as well, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. At Rudeism, Rudeism.
There you go. You go follow Rudeism if you want to catch any more future creative controller builds and madness from the inside of a car. It has been wonderful talking with you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Absolutely. And thank you, all of you, once again, for bringing innovative content creators like Rudeism to our attention. You can nominate your favorite Forza content creators for a chance to appear in a future community spotlight on Forza Monthly. Just let us know who they are and what you like about their work at aka.ms/Forza Spotlight. And now it is time to check in on the latest community events. Let's welcome Ali Tak back to the show.
Hey.
He's back. It's Ali Tak. Hello, how you doing?
It's me. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right. How are you doing? It's back.
I am doing well. So you are fresh of a weekend of casting a Special Olympics tournament in Forza Motorsport 7. How was that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it was the Gaming for Inclusion tournament with Special Olympics and Xbox. Just an awesome competition. I love the the whole flavor of it. I think last year we ran it on Forza alone, and this time round incorporated a little bit of NBA 2K and also Rocket League into the mix as well. So it was cool to get sort of across a few different games. We had a rundown between Special Olympics athletes and then also a celebrity showdown later on with Jason Tatum and Joel Lloyd, a couple of NBA stars. And so, yeah, it was a really fun event. It was very cool. You guys can check it all out over on twitch.tv/Xbox. So it's over there as a VOD.
Nice, on the Xbox channel. Well, before we carry on, I have to ask you one very, very important question. Have you ever tried playing Forza on a DDR pad?
I haven't. I was loving listening to him though. Rudeism talk about it. I did try and make a robot driver one time for using an Arduino. So the same thing that he's using.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not clever like he's clever, and I couldn't make it work. So maybe one day.
Give it enough time. I'm sure you can figure it out, and then who knows what might happen. So last month you introduced the HPD Forza Bounty Hunter. We should be like right in the middle of it now. So how's that been going?
Yeah, it's been really good. We started off with Carl Whitmer. That was the first the race, touring car champion and just awesome driver. It was cool to see him out there at Laguna Seca. Week 2 running right now is Ryan Eversley, another TCR champion from over in the US. And the race is around Suzuka. It's Suzuka East in the Honda S2K. You guys can get behind the wheel there. Right now, it's very competitive on the leaderboard. I'm loving watching it. The first round was won by Mitch from Forza RC fame, and the second round won by TPR Bokit. So both of them, I guess not won yet. I guess winning right now is Bokit. So people really looking very punchy at the top of the board. And of course, week 3, the big one coming up is Romain Grosjean. So yeah, it'll be fun to see him racing. He put out a really good move at the corkscrew. I was just watching the clip of it with IndyCar just a few days ago. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. It's out there on Twitter in the Twitterverse. Check out how Romain Grosjean's getting on there before he gets onto Forza. It'll give you some inside knowledge, maybe.
Yes, I think so. Can players still participate if they'd like to?
Absolutely, yeah. Right now, all you have to do is go to Rivals in-game, featured Rivals, and head to the Week 2 challenge. If you look at the challenge text as well, I know for me, I often just blast past it. I just want to get racing. But if you look at the text, it'll show you the gamer tag of Ryan Eversley, who's our bounty for this week. And so if you were to friend him up, and go into that and set him as your rival, then you can race against his ghost and see whether you can beat him, where he's fast, where he's slow, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, read the text, read the instructions, people.
All right. Well, maybe I don't want to read.
maybe I want to drive.
Yeah, maybe I want to drive.
Yeah.
Well, you just finished a challenge of your own, I believe. You were taking on the Toro GTCC in your weekly streams. Did you and Type Rye bring home any trophies?
We got second. We did okay. We did good. Got second. I know. I shouldn't sound disappointed. We came second by 40 points, so it was really close. Type Rye and me, and also Mr. Fergs, the three of us, the banditos out there, doing our best in the Toro GTCC. A big shout out to Mulsan, Stingray, and Blackout. Actually, those 3 guys took home the championship in the end. So I'll be magnanimous and doff the cap a little bit to the people who did manage to get the gold medal.
Very nice. Well, congrats on the silver. So did anything else happen last month?
Last month, one thing that did happen that I wanted to shout out actually is the FTC 30, which ran through the whole month. FTC, Forza Photography Central, I think is what it stands for, ran a sort of photography cues event throughout the entire month on Twitter. Later on this month, I think next week, I'll have to confirm it later on, I'll be hosting a final for that event. So we'll be looking at a few of the photos, judging them, and chatting about sort of photography in Forza on stream. And so it's a sort of, it's something that we're in the middle of right now. So yeah, that was definitely something I wanted to shout out.
Yes, absolutely. And are there any other events coming up that you're particularly excited about?
Well, the Bathurst 1000 is coming up, which is going to be a big one. That's, I think, October the 23rd with Tora. So head on over to racetora.com to check that out. And other than that, I just want to see, Forza has been list crazy, right, recently. A lot of people making their lists of their favorite drivers. I just want to see Mergenator's next list. He's going to bring out a second one. It's going to shock everyone. And I want to see where I stack up on it. That's all.
Well, I mean, if you're not at the top, you can have some stern words.
I will. There'll be a letter, capitals, red text color. Yeah, all of it.
And I won't be reading it because I'll be driving. What other events have we got in the works? Can we check out the community calendar?
Let's have a look. So coming up next month, first of all is that Romain Grosjean round of the HPD Forza Bounty Hunter event. Get out there and have a run against current IndyCar whiz and F1 longtime racer Romain Grosjean from the 22nd of September. Later on, we've got the Full Send Assassins bringing you We Love the 80s. It just sounds like a cracking competition to me, so head on over to their Discord and give it a go. Racing Buddies Historic Motorsport with their time travel trophy are coming back. They've done this previously, I think, and it's a really fun event. Features a lot of sort of older cars, and so you can see it on Facebook there. Further along, Late Night Racing with their Ferrari GT World Challenge will be heading to the Nürburgring on the 16th. I'm actually looking right now at casting one of their rounds for that event on the Forza channel, so we'll see if that comes to fruition, and if so, then I guess keep your ear to the ground. 23rd of the month is the Barthurst 1000. It's the last round of the Tourer Endurance Championship for this year. It's going to be probably the biggest race that will happen between now and Christmas and next year. And so get involved. It's got modern V8 supercars versus modern touring cars, which is just such an interesting combination of cars to have on track that I'm smitten. I think I'll call it. I think I'm going to cast it, or I'm not sure. I could race it or cast it, and I'm kind of between the two right now. But anyway,
so many choices.
So many choices, Leah. I know.
How do you choose?
I'm struggling at the moment. I'm in Strugglesville.
I can see that. Well, hopefully you do figure that out, and we'll see next month where you get up to with that. But thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today, and we'll be seeing you next time. Bye.
See ya.
We love spotlighting all of our amazing community creators. And if you want a chance to get your liveries featured on social, in-game, and on this show, all you have to do is tag your post with a new Forza hashtag Forza Paint Booth. Here are some of our faves from this month. And Chris Sasaki is up next with an update on Forza Motorsport. So stick around and watch this. Hello, Chris. It's great to see you again.
Hey, Leah, how's it going? I was,
Good.
super distracted by that music. I was just kind of jamming out to that. It was really cool.
It's really nice. They always choose the nicest music for the montages.
Wasn't it great? Yeah, I was just super distracted by this entire stream. Like, I don't even want to be on this right now because I just want to watch. Like, you and Rudeism were just hilarious, and I am just amazed that anyone could play anything with guitars or a frying pan or a single
or
button.
a baguette.
Baguette, yeah, the baguette. It's a baguette. That
That was crazy.
that was great. That whole thing was amazing, and I was like, I just want to watch this all day. I cut my segment, please. So anyway, yeah, it's just
No,
really
we
cool.
have important things to talk about, Chris. Very important things.
Can we just talk more about?
Let's talk more about baguettes and pans and Arduinos.
Maybe some
Hopefully, we'll have him back. Well, we're going to be talking about Forza Motorsport, and the team actually had their second playtest last month, where members of the community once again got a chance to play part of the game, right?
Yeah, that's right. We had our second playtest on August 14th, and as always, it's incredibly exciting to invite the community, to try out a portion of the game, provide their feedback. I did want to mention once again that we have a lot of game to test out, but we've been focusing on a small portion of it, of which we'll talk about today. So we'll get to the other parts in other streams, and I guarantee there's going to be a lot of cool stuff there. But like our first test, the response has been amazing, and what our team really noticed this time around is that the feedback from our players has become much more detailed and focused, which is like super beneficial for us this time around as we fine-tune the experience. So we're just super grateful to all of those who have participated and provided feedback for us, because ultimately you're helping us make the game better for everyone.
Absolutely. And the more detailed the feedback, the better always. Well, last time we were here, we talked about physics and tire wear and compounds, and we briefly touched upon environmental factors as well. So what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I actually really want to talk about multiplayer. So we've been focusing on multiplayer, and these tests have really been about that. And let me just give you some feedback here, or some background, really. In looking back at our previous motorsport games, multiplayer was really about these quick races, right? Our current hoppers kind of work this way. You go race to race to race. It's fun, but players wanted more. We got a ton of feedback from the community all throughout the ages, asking for a deeper, more authentic multiplayer experience. And from the beginning, from the onset, as we started to look at what we're going to be building, we really wanted to make that a reality in this new Forza Motorsport. So if you've asked for specific multiplayer features, we probably have it in the game in some way. But we also knew we wanted the core of this experience to really encourage our players to grow their skills, get faster, get better, alongside each other, and help build communities together. So to start, the thing I wanted to touch on was the focus of our last testing was really about our new live event structure that is about open practice, qualifying, and a featured race.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a race weekend, right? You got your qualify, your practice, and then you got your race. So tell us more about practice then and how that works, because that's what sets you up for qualifying and the main race afterwards, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Just totally think of it as a race weekend. What we have now is a calendar of active and upcoming events that players can join around the world. Each of these events has an open practice and qualifying portion, like I mentioned, before moving everyone to the featured race. And we're currently experimenting with the structure and the timing of these elements. That's where the feedback really comes into play, dialing in that flow and the timing of our practice, qualifying, and featured races. And what happens on the track with our testers, it's obviously different than what we normally would expect or how we would normally play it. It's the best kind of feedback we can get. And it's why we've had members from even from our larger community organizations, such as Torah, involved in these play tests. And another thing we kept on hearing our players say is that they want to get faster, but there aren't any systems in the game to help them. This is really kind of open practice, right? This is really a great thing about what we can do in open practice. What do you do there? We implemented a new system to help you unlock your fastest self. Think about lap times or sector times, and hey, were you faster or slower than last time? But where were you really faster or slower? How can you focus your practice session to actually get better? So we introduced kind of a corner system that allows you to kind of understand on a per corner basis, am I slower or faster? So we have sector times and that sort of thing, and lap times, of course, but this is a much more granular system. And it really has helped me even get faster. So let me give you an example. There are certain sectors in games on some of the tracks where I'm like, yeah, I'm slower, fast. Why am I slower or faster in this section? And now I can go, okay, well, I'm actually really, really fine on, say, decreasing radius corners. Like I can see that I'm doing really well on those on average, but on double apex corners, for some reason I can't get those, and I'm scoring a lot lower there. But now this whole kind of system allows me to really identify those corners or those types of corners that I need to practice on, and really focus my practice session on getting faster there, rather than just like on a per sector or lap time overall. So this system is active in open practice, and it really is helping myself and our players get better.
Right. Yeah. Really like pinpoint exactly the little problem areas you got to work on instead of just the general section. So, I mean, how does community building factor into that?
Yeah. This is another great example of, how we're taking the feedback from our players and making it better. It's such an important reason why we're doing these play tests and including the community in this. So, we built this corner mastery system to really be helpful to unlocking your fastest self. But seeing how our players are using it and wanting to use it, and getting all that feedback from them has really helped us shape it into something more social, more connected, as well as more competitive. So we're building the system now based off all that feedback to go beyond simple, per track leaderboards, and create an experience where players can compete and compare their corner scores in real time. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. When are we going to know more about that then?
Yeah, well, we're constantly experimenting with this system, and other feedback comes into play here. We're getting more granular with everything. So with all that said, the testing here is nowhere near final, or what we are testing is nowhere near final. And we're going to continue to test these things because it's such a core, crucial part of the motorsport that we're building here.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Well, last question. Sorry, viewers. I know you touched briefly upon endurance racing. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Another area where we got a lot of feedback from our players since the dawn of time, looking for a deeper, better supported endurance experience. And personally, like I love watching any type of endurance racing, real or virtual. I was even on a pit crew for an endurance series way back in the day when I was a young lad.
Wow.
But now's the time, right? With all of these recent tire compound changes that we've been talking about, the tire wear, and really thinking about fuel consumption, it makes a lot of sense to double down on this type of racing now, right? So we added an endurance series into the mix of the available events in this last playtest. And this is really some really cool stuff. We tested an open practice and qualifying event that was up for hours alongside all the other kind of rotating live events. And this allowed players to jump into this open practice and qualifying session whenever it was convenient for them. And then they could leave and return for the main featured race anytime in the future. You can imagine how this will allow us to create qualifiers during the week and have featured races on the weekend, or alternately qualifying maybe during the day and race at night. It opens up some really cool scenarios for us to experiment with. And you can be certain we'll be taking full advantage of that. So stay tuned for more on that.
Even more possibilities. Well, this has been great, Chris. We know the community is always eager to hear how development's coming along. And I know I said it was the last question earlier, but for those wondering when the next playtest is, can you maybe tell us when or how they can get involved, or maybe even when you might be back here?
Sure, I'll allow you another question. So yeah, we're always trying to figure out when this next playtest is going to be, because we're constantly moving features around in priority and making sure that we're building the right thing at the right time. And this next test that we'll be launching, we're still locking in on are we going to do testing of things like different tire wear models because of all the feedback that we've gotten, or dial in some other areas of the multiplayer systems. So we still haven't locked that down yet about what we'll be testing, and of course we're always adding people to these play tests. We added a bunch in this last one. And so you'll hear about that in the next couple months when that next one is going to be, and how to sign up for that. So hopefully you'll have me back in the next few months and let everyone know what the team's been working on, and hopefully we'll have some really great things to share, especially as we head into the next year.
Sure hope so. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining us today.
Thanks, Leah. Take care.
And that is all we have for you for September, I'm afraid. But before I wrap up the show and hand you off to Charlie for Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go, I got a couple of announcements, so stay tuned. The Forza team joins Xbox in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month to honor the rich cultural history of Hispanic and Latin communities. Join us by using the hashtag ForzaHHM to share your livery designs inspired by Hispanic and Latin heritage. We'll feature our favorites in-game in both Forza Motorsport 7 and Forza Horizon 4 are eligible, and featured designers will receive in-game credit rewards. Entries will close on September the 29th at 11:59 p.m. PDT. And once again, it's time for the Community Health Survey. This is your chance to contribute to the growth of the Forza community by filling out a quick survey at aka.ms/Forza Community. And lastly, we have more great Forza streams to watch this week on the Forza channel, as we do every week. Let's take a look at the calendar. We've got Charlie and the Playground Games Gang will be on in just a few minutes with a ton of new, very cool stuff to show you. And then midweek, John Iwana Garage is back, this time with a very sleek 71 Camaro track specialist. And get a double dose of Forza on Friday with Verena May and Raceboy. And that, my friends, is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Let's Go is coming up right after this, which is why I'm speeding along real fast right now. I'll be seeing you next month. Goodbye.
Let everybody talk right now. Tell me what you want right now. You could get it. Yeah. Well, you can get it. Yeah. Yeah, you can get it. Tell me what you want and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm not giving up. Come on, we got nothing left to lose. I feel it from the start. You know I'm not going anywhere. I don't give a. Tell me what you want. You can get it. Yeah. Well, you can get it. Yeah. Yeah, you can get it. You can get it.
Play it day one with Xbox Game Pass.